Day baseball from the Gateway City as the Cardinals look to avoid the sweep against Milwaukee. On your home of the Cardinals, game number 2, the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. A look at the central standings. The Cardinals 2 games back after Cincinnati won late last night in Arizona. They've got Volquez going tonight against Rodrigo Lopez. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Along with Albert Bosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals, though, have one of the best at home in all of baseball, and maybe the Cy Young Award winner in the National League going today, and that's Adam Wainwright.
Well, Adam has a lot of things going for him, including the best record at home, Major League leading 1.22 ERA at home. Carpenter very close there. He's also 9-0 in day games, and his last 2 starts against Milwaukee have been complete games.
And the Cardinals face Randy Wolf, the lefty, here this afternoon. But we're going to talk about Ryan Franklin, the All-Star from a year ago. As his career is winding down, what does it mean to him? Find out next. Looking for a sweep after the night win in Game 1. Ryan Franklin, we hope to see him today and pick up another save. In the latter stages of his career, Ryan Franklin has done something virtually unprecedented. Beginning almost from scratch at age 35, Franklin has blossomed from a fringe starter into a productive middle reliever and then into a dominant all-star closer. Franklin's hope when he signed with the Cardinals 3 years ago was a spot in the rotation, but he didn't start one game. After a handful of save opportunities for the injured Jason Isringhausen, Franklin was considered an option, but never the solution for the role of Cardinals closer. That is until after Jason Mott blew a save on opening day in 2009. A week later, Franklin earned his first save of the season and never relinquished the role, but it hasn't been easy.
You know, I did pretty much every aspect of pitching that you could do, from starting to long relief to mop-up man to middle guy to setup and now closing. And I truly believe that closing is the toughest job, just because, you know, I didn't have a short memory whenever I first started doing this, and it was tough. And, you know, think everybody has their bumps in the road and struggles here and there, and you just got to keep them to a minimum. And like you said, only remember it for about 3 or 4 hours after that and then move on.
Franklin has learned how to handle the role mentally, but he's also had to be smarter with his pitches. On any given night, Franklin will choose from an assortment of 4 pitches. Other than Kansas City's Joaquin Soria, it's hard to find a closer with such a varied repertoire, and one who doesn't hand out a lot of walks either.
Being a closer, sometimes you do kind of have to intentional, unintentional walk guys, but, I don't know. I've always just been able to throw strikes with 3 or 4 different pitches, and I know that free pass can come back and haunt you really quick, so, I just try to keep those to a minimum.
Ryan Franklin, like many pitchers before him, credits Dave Duncan for much of his success. According to Franklin, Duncan, who has also helped Dennis Eckersley make the transition from starter to closer, prepares his pitchers as well as any pitching coach the game has ever seen.
What he does for me, personally, and the bullpen guys out here, we have meetings once at the beginning of every series against the team, and go over the guys who we're getting ready to pitch against. And he gives us probably the best game plan that anybody could ever give to someone on how to get hitters out that one time. He puts in a ton of hard work as far as video and watching guys, and then he writes it down, and then we have the meeting, and he passes along to us.
Ryan Franklin's success this late in his career is anything but luck. Franklin works hard to keep his body in shape and comes into every game prepared. He is, however, lucky to have played with Ichiro in Seattle, and now Matt Holliday and Albert Pujols in St. Louis. And when Franklin's time comes to put away his spikes, he'll be able to say he played with and against some of the best players ever to play the game.
I've been pretty lucky. I think that a guy from Seattle is still there, Ichiro. He might be the best left-handed hitter. I'd say, I don't know if I'd say all-around hitter, but I'd say the best pure left-handed hitter is Ichiro, and then Albert, I think, is by far the best right-handed hitter in the game, so I got to play with both of them. It's something I'd be able to tell my great-grandkids, hopefully, one of these days.
Before Franklin spends time with his grandkids, he wants to spend time with his current kids, which is why the All-Star closer is calling it quits after next season. Franklin worked hard to avoid being one of the many players who overstay their time in the game of baseball. All that hard work has allowed Franklin the ability to leave on his own terms, but not before trying to help the Cardinals back into the playoffs.
Brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. And by Chevy's expert auto service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. Gorgeous day for baseball as Busch Stadium is filling up on this Wednesday afternoon. Day game that'll wrap up this brief 2-game series. Off day tomorrow, then a very important series with the San Francisco Giants over the weekend. And then after that, get ready for the road at what could be a telling point this season for the Cardinals.
No doubt. After this homestand, the Cardinals will play 17 out of 20 on the road.
We're waiting for the Cardinals to take the field. Ken Maka and the Brewers, they have to go back to 2008. Brewers have the highest second winning percentage at Busch Stadium. Any visiting National League team, they've really played well here at Busch Stadium since 2008. There's only 2 teams that have been above 500 here at Busch Stadium, visiting teams, and the other being Colorado. And here come the Cardinals to take the field. A look at Ken Maka's lineup, and it is a good one. Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart, Ryan Braun. We'll see those 3 here in the first. And Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, Lorenzo Cain, and Alcides Escobar, George Contreras, and Randy Wolf, the pitchers, hitting .245. And here's a look at the numbers for Wainwright. Could get the Cy Young Award this season, 1.99 ERA. Trying to pick up his 18th win here today, and he's our Marshall Wireless Sprint starter.
You mentioned a good lineup, but he really has contained the Brewers. 2-0 with a 0.50 ERA with 2 complete games, including his first career shutout against Milwaukee. You look at his numbers, he's 9-0 record with a National League leading 1.30 ERA during day games. He leads the major leagues with 11-0, 1.22 ERA here at home. And, I mean, just everything. You just look at major league record, 27 consecutive quality starts at home for Wainwright.
Absolutely gorgeous afternoon here for baseball. We had a chance to visit with Ricky Weeks, and he gives us a scouting report of Adam Wainwright.
What makes him so good, I think, is just that his knack for throwing strikes, of course, strike one. And then after that, he builds off strike one, with his cutter, with his sinker down and in to right-handed batters and stuff like that. His changeup, of course, and, you can't forget about his 2-strike curveball. So he's the type of guy that he locates well, and, and when he does get in the jam, he makes a pitch when he has to make the pitch. So that's what makes him so good.
Pretty much sums up Adam Wainwright and how good he has been this year. And Weeks on the first pitch hits it out of play. Ricky Weeks, with the struggles of Milwaukee this year, he has not been a guy that you pointed to and said, well, that's one of the reasons. Ricky Weeks has played well. He's hit .276. He scored 82 runs and 23 home runs. Most ever by a Brewers second baseman.
He can give a scouting report. He can tell you what to look for, but trying to hit it is another thing. As Adam, many people believe, the best pitcher in at least the National League right now.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Heard Weeks talk about the assortment of pitches, and you fall behind here. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and you're thinking maybe the cutter, changeup, fastball, moves it in and out. Of course, the 12-6 breaking ball. 84 degrees, our game time temperature, and the 1-2 pitch. Get out of play. Ricky Weeks leads the major leagues in home runs from the leadoff spot. 72 RBIs from that spot. Second in runs, trailing Derek Jeter, who has 83 of the Yankees.
And all great numbers. Those home runs and 72 RBIs from the leadoff hitter.
Strikeout to start the game for Adam Wainwright. Cardinals have made 16 errors since the All-Star break. That's 4th in the National League and 7th in baseball. And a look at their defense today, presented by Dobbs, and the battery is Wainwright and Molina. So once again, Colby Rasmus not in the lineup. And here is Corey Hart. Talking with Colby before the game, he was telling me that they have targeted Friday night against San Francisco. They like to get him in. It's his right calf that he's dealing with an injury there. He said it was a foul ball against Carlos Zambrano that did the injury.
And he aggravated it running the bases, did pinch it in last night's game. Wainwright slider off the plate for strike one. He's working inside here to Corey Hart. There you get a good look at Rasmus.
He said that day, too.
Brian Anderson right in front of him, who is recalled.
He said that day when he had the foul tip off his calf, Al, that he actually was running very well, didn't have the soreness until the next day, and then all of a sudden he said it was really tough to even walk. So not in the lineup last night and not here today. 2-2, gets away from Molina on the block. Hart hustling to first. Good play by Yachty. Second strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Pretty nasty breaking ball right there to an all-star.
Two all-stars competing against each other, and I'll take the pitcher.
You just don't see guys miss by a foot in the major leagues like this.
If you go back to the first strike, he swung at a pitch a foot outside. So Yachty very much under control and threw him out by plenty, and good start for Wainwright.
Back to Wainwright. Gold Glover flips it over to Pujols. Good start for the Cardinals. No score after a half inning. Home teams in baseball with 39 wins this year, 39-21. The lineup reads like this: Lopez, Jay, and Pujols here in the first. Holiday, Craig, and Molina. Miles gets a start at second. Wainwright and Brendan Ryan. Cardinals face the lefty, Randy Wolf. 26th start of the year, and he's 9-9.
He's actually pitched pretty well his last four starts. He's 2-0 ERA at 3.16. One thing about Randy Wolf, he is a fly ball pitcher. Now that was a strength when you're playing in the National League West. With a lot of those night games, the ball gets knocked down, but
Lopez hits it to left in the line drive, caught by Ryan Braun.
Goes his share of home runs.
A look at the defense for the Brewers: Braun, Kane, and Hart. In the outfield, McGee, Escobar, Weeks, and Fielder along the infield. And our battery is Randy Wolf and George Gutierrez. That's presented by Dobbs. John Jay, average at 356. Looks at strike one. Cardinals rank second behind Milwaukee. hitting .290 as a team in the month of August. Slugging .431, that's second behind Arizona. And the Redbirds have scored 4 runs or more in 11 of 13 games this month. Only picked up 2 last night and lost by a run. Seen John Jay be able to go to the opposite field, and now their center fielder Lorenzo Cain moves over to the opposite field. There's a big gap out there in left center. Stay away again, and it's a full count.
And lefties have hit .301 against Randy Wolf. Pretty much straight away, maybe shading slightly in center to left.
And Jay strikes out. 2 outs, and it brings in Pujols.
Randy's got a slow curveball. He's also got a cutter. And he'll try and really work that inside to a lot of the right-hand hitters, and then that little slow curveball away. And really depends on, does he have command of the outside part of the plate against right-handed hitters with his fastball.
Time is called by Pujols, and granted, he hit number 31 last night. We had a couple of fans up here in the booth tell us before the game, what's wrong with Albert? And we said, well, if you look at the numbers, he's got a chance to win the Triple Crown.
Right,
yeah, but that's not enough.
What's wrong with him?
Right.
You know, he didn't hit a home run, or he didn't get a game-winning hit every time up. He has set the bar so high, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. And Pujols hits it out to left, but that'll stay in the ballpark. Braun makes the catch near the track, and the Cardinals go in order. No score after an inning of play. For Adam against Milwaukee, 2-0, .50 ERA, and very good run support. Our Toyota keys to the game. Prince Fielder, the hitter. We start playing the top of the second. Adam Wainwright, 6'7". See where he'd be an imposing figure. Working from that first base side of the rubber. 2 balls and no strikes. Now we were talking about the previous start for Wainwright and the changeup. What has he done to give you a little different look with the changeup?
Well, over the All-Star break, at the All-Star game, working with Tim Lincecum, he picked up his changeup. Now, Lincecum has small fingers, and Wainwright larger fingers, but he really likes that, and he throws it a little harder than his other changeup, but he kind of feels like he gets a lot more movement out of it.
Fought off by Fielder for the first base hit. Adam wants a new baseball. This is the Plaza Tire Service Fox Exmo Cam.
It really looks like it's his cutter. And the velocity of a cutter, but of course his changeup is very similar to that in velocity.
Cardinals will face Tim Lincecum this weekend. Giants will be in town first of 3 on Friday night. Jake Westbrook against Madison Bumgarner. Westbrook now 1-0. Carpenter and Lincecum, 2 former Cy Young Award winners.
And there's some very anemic batting averages against Wainwright from the Brewers. Braun 184. Fielder 171. Hart 263, by far the best. McGee 083. Weeks 167.
One for 12 against Wainwright for Casey McGee. Cardinals had an opportunity to turn 3 double plays last night. Defense struggled. Anyways, it cost them the game. 1-2 pitch.
You mentioned they had 3 opportunities and they were only successful in 1. And then that was a spectacular play by Brendan Ryan.
Talking with Brendan before the game, I asked him if that was the best play that he's made at the major league level, and he said second best. The other was a play earlier this year deep in the hole at Pittsburgh that got Andrew McCutchen, and the Derek Jeter leap strikeout of McGee. One thing he pointed out talking about Brendan Ryan was the reaction of the fans. And he said, go back to the weekend and I had a chance to get a bunt down, couldn't do it. He said the fans just supported me last night. I had chills up and down my body after I made the play. And he was very thankful for that. 3rd strikeout for Wainwright. And it was a spectacular play.
Dove up the middle and from the prone position, flipped the ball out of his glove. Perfect feed to Schumacher, and they completed the double play. Kane's first experience of facing Wainwright.
2 for 4 last night. Good pitch. 0-2, and Wainwright early on looks sharp again.
Good command of that curveball, and just has so many weapons. Finger off the ball when he throws that curveball. You would think hitters would be able to pick that up, but nobody's been able to hit it.
1-2. That's just a feel thing that why he has that index finger up.
I've seen a lot of them barely take it or have extremely little pressure on it, but he literally has his index finger straight up in the air. And, that's...
Back to Wainwright. Makes the catch. And it's a double play. Off the shoe top. So Fielder was in no man's land anyway. Double play. And Holiday leads it off when we come back. Sutter, Adam Wainwright, or Todd Worrell. Text closer A, B, C, or D to 432-432. Anytime you would have a guy that closes out a World Series, you'd figure they'd get plenty of the votes. Bruce Sutter or Adam Wainwright. Here's Matt Holliday. Holliday's hitting .303 on the year, 21 home runs, and he's driven in 73. One thing we've noticed with Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder of the Brewers, he plays awfully deep. And it's not just with Pujols or Holliday, the big bats, very deep.
Shading right field with Holliday.
Let's hit out to right. And Corey Hart makes the catch.
Holliday 0 for 5 and did very well in his career against the Brew Crew.
Alan Craig with Colby Rasmus on the bench. John Jay shifts from right to center, so Alan Craig gets the start in right field. Started 5 games since he was recalled back on the 3rd. 4th time that's happened. Mentioned last night his gaudy numbers at Memphis. 76 RBIs. 35 driven in June. Finally, Player of the Year in 2009, Alan Craig.
Dan, we talked about how he's had a tough time playing off the bench, but he started on Sunday, started last night, in here today. There's that slow curveball. So maybe you'll see a little bit more out of Alan Craig as he's getting a little more consistent playing time. It's real tough that first time when you're in the minor leagues and you play every single day, and first time you come up here and you playing off the bench.
Fastball, and Craig couldn't pull the trigger. Second strikeout for Andy Wolf.
That real slow breaking ball, that looked like it was about 10 miles an hour faster than it was. Thought it was a little bit high, but Fox Tracks doesn't lie. And when you see it from that angle, you know it's a strike also.
Here's Yadier Molina. Molina hitting .253. 5 home runs. He's driven in 45. Ground ball to the right side. Weeks will take his time. Throws wide. And Molina safe at first.
Another example, Dan, of not really knowing who's running. Now, fielder has to be in a position to where he can move around a little bit better. I'm shocked that fielder only has 1 error on the season. But a little ground ball to the right side. It's Molina running. So Ricky does the tough thing to get to the ball. But then he panics by rushing the throw. And from that angle, you really do see that fielder has to, at the very least, come off the bag, knock it down, or vacate the bag. And then you still have plenty of time to touch first base and record the out.
Saw 3 errors last night, 2 by the Cardinals. And the first error here today. Here's Aaron Miles with 2 outs and a runner at first. No score here in St. Louis. And Miles shoots one into right center. Kane on the move, and his good speed makes the catch. And he leaves it for Corey Hart, who said, no thanks. Let's go to the 3rd. Lorenzo Kane left it for Corey Hart, except he wasn't watching. You can interact with our producers, writers, and on-air talent. Jim Hayes up there. Live chat right now at foxsportsmidwest.com. Wainwright back to work. He'll get Escobar, Cateras, and Randy Wolf. And the first pitch is taken low and outside. Escobar hitting .249, 3 home runs, and 33 driven in. According to Baseball America, he was the Brewers' top prospect coming into play this season. He's got great speed with 7 triples. 2 balls and 1 strike. He's played all 3 outfield positions as well. Three and 1.
Time will tell whether he blossoms into a adequate or average hitter at the major league level, and he makes a lot of errors, but he does have an awful lot of talent.
And that's a leadoff walk. Still have 1 week left to pledge your allegiance to your favorite team in baseball. It's a 2010 membership to Cardinals Nation, official online fan club of the Cardinals. Members receive great perks, including 2 tickets to a 2010 game and more. Join Cardinals Nation today at cardinals.com. To go for Escobar. That was picked by Molina for ball 1.
And Molina doesn't like what he's seen here. Wainwright falls behind another hitter.
2-0.
Rarely see Wainwright get upset. And our box track said that the ball 4 to Escobar was a strike, and Wainwright a little upset with that, but can't keep that thought process and complicate it by falling behind or making a mistake to the next guy.
2 balls and a strike.
We have the lower end of the order, so an opportunity here to pitch around that walk.
And he falls behind now. 3 balls and a strike.
He's 0 for 3 against Adam. He's hitting under 200 for the season. And you just got to trust your stuff. You go right after him in the strike zone and take your chances.
See if they want to do some running here with the good speed of Escobar.
Randy Wolf's a pretty good hitting pitcher. But right now, you know, when Adams on, he can get a lot of ground balls, so why not? But, you know, Molina is just such a weapon.
They are running, and the pitch is hit in the air. Shallow center. Brendan Ryan calling for it. John Jay makes the catch. Much easier play for the center fielder coming in.
And I am one that always wants to see that outfielder take charge, and John Jay did in that situation. Much more difficult play for the infielder going back. And we can watch and see what this runner does, because he's got to locate the ball. You look in, you locate it, he sees it's in the air, and you kind of wait and see if somebody's underneath it, and then you scramble back. So that's kind of a Tough play right there because you assume it's going to be caught, but it's a force out, so you can't be running back to the bag if it's dropped.
One out and a runner at first for Randy Wolf.
Mentioned Randy, a decent hitting pitcher, 13 for 53, 245 average with 4 RBIs.
Trying to bunt, foul tip, strike one.
It looked like that ball was elevated a little bit. Rarely do you see pitchers try to use the weapon of throwing the ball high when someone's squaring to bunt. It's easy to get a ball down in the zone. It's easy to get that ball on the ground, but a ball up, you have a tendency to push at it or pop it up.
Little bit low. Wainwright trying to find the strike zone here in the third inning, and some of these pitches have looked pretty good.
And Molina talking to the home plate umpire, and I'm sure Dave Duncan will be using his vocal cords just to say hello to the home plate umpire.
Pujols holding the runner at first. Felipe Lopez in on the grass over at third. Curveball of beauty in there for strike 1 and 2.
Randy looks more comfortable swinging the bat than trying to bunt right now.
Really does.
He only has 3 sacrifices this season.
Curveball, goodbye. Strikeout of Randy Wolf. And 4 strikeouts first time through the order. NFL is back with 2 Fox preseason specials beginning on Thursday. Tom Brady and the Patriots take on the Falcons. Then on Friday, Eagles begin life without Donovan McNabb. We'll take on T.O. and the Bengals. Both games start at 7 in high definition only on Fox. Football is back. 4 strikeouts for Adam Wainwright. Boy, he is just nasty. See if they want to run again with the speed of Escobar at first base, and your leadoff man up. If he's thrown out, so be it. Have your leadoff man up to start the next inning. The check on Escobar at first. Very well could have a Triple Crown winner, another MVP season for Pujols, and Wainwright take home the Cy Young Award this year. Looking to take over the lead in the National League in wins with 18 today.
Started 4th in strikeouts, Dan, and he's 1 away from tying Kershaw for 3rd place.
Depending on how the next 3 starts, including today, goes, he'll be well above 200 innings again this season. That could happen in his 3rd start from now.
Cutter.
And that 1.99 ERA, the best in the National League. Runner goes, broken bat, hit to Brendan Ryan. Slings it over. Pujols for the out. Wainwright, Ryan, and Lopez coming up. And there's no score. Day baseball here at Busch Stadium. Check out the crowd with the Thirst Any fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. This Friday, the Cardinals will take on the Giants, and you can collect a 2010 Cardinals 3x5 banner. Show your love for the team. 25,000 fans receive this banner courtesy of Coke Zero and Walmart. Up the middle and a base hit and right through the legs of Randy Wolf. Wainwright aboard, and the Cardinals have their first base hit. This Friday, by the way, is also a Bush Bash, and Mike Matheny, former Cardinal and Giant, signing autographs before the game.
Right through the legs, and fitting that the first hit comes off the bat of the pitcher.
You knew it would.
He's a very good pitcher and a very good athlete. Can help himself swinging the bat. And Brendan Ryan, whose average is on the climb, had a couple hits again last night. I was talking to Mark McGuire about Brendan Ryan and really almost lack of balance at the plate. And Mark said we worked with him, but he just says that this is how he feels comfortable. He's so fidgety, he can't stay still. And Mark made a very valid point. He goes, he's got Albert Pujols, the best hitter on the planet, who has zero movement. And then at the other extreme, you look at Brendan Ryan and look at the numbers off of Randy Wolf. But, he just said that that's the only way he feels comfortable.
But that's it. Then let him go, right?
And that's what he says. We try to change him, we try to help him, but he can't.
Ryan hits a rocket to short, double play ball. .6-3 on the double play. 2 outs, and it brings in Lopez. Can't hit it any harder than that.
Always look at that ball like that, and I remember mid-70s, Bob Gibson on first base in Shea Stadium, and line drive hit like that, trying to get back to the bag. He tore up his knee. And that season almost ended. We had a 5.5 game lead in late August. Our number 2 and number 3 starters won 1 game the next 6 weeks and end up losing the division in the last week of the season. Matter of fact, Bob even tried to come back after surgery on the knee. He came back that final week and actually got in a fight with Barney Schultz, the Cardinal pitching coach, because they said, your season's over. And he said, no, we got a chance to win. I'm going to help my team. Came back through 6 shutout innings, had a big lead, took him out, we won that ball game. And then all winter, that knee, really had problems with that knee. The next year, he had the knee drained 18 times.
18, huh?
18 times the day of, he was pitching. And, at the end, actually, his final year, his arm was in better shape than it had been for quite a while, but the knees were so bad it just couldn't support him.
2-2. He told me before that he felt some of those knee problems were because of basketball too.
Oh, I'm sure it was, But,
and then the wear and tear of playing Major League Baseball and driving off the pitching rubber.
And the way he, really put torque on his body and twisted, and when they operated on his knee, and at that time he was probably late 30s. They said it was almost a man about in his late 80s, 90 years old, the way the grinding bone on bone, the cartilage, everything was gone.
3-2 the count with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Cardinal leadoff man Lopez, who lined out to left. Fly ball into right, part over, makes the catch. And we have played 3. Day baseball here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals and Brewers, no score. And 4 for Milwaukee here in the top of the 4th. Hart, Braun, and Fielder. Corey Hart struck out first time up. Zach Cox, the first-round selection by the Cardinals, in the house today to sign his contract, and also took some BP and was in the clubhouse and talking with Skip Schumacher, and they said, boy, said this guy looks like he could hit. He said, I know it's BP, but he was impressive, no doubt.
There's Brian Anderson there, so Cox is the one behind him. There he is. There's the Cardinals' #1 draft pick out of the University of Arkansas. He will start at the Gulf Coast League. And remember, he got a major league contract. But the reason he will start at the Gulf Coast League is because, their season is over in 18 days. If he stayed longer than 20, then he would lose an option.
Baseball brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Jack in the Box right now. Get Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo served with curly fries and a drink for $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. So they don't want to start that clock, is what you're saying.
Right. And the Gulf Coast League season is over in 18 days, so he would not lose an option this year. Then he will be one of the 6 considered to go to the Arizona Fall League, and you would think he would go there and make up for some time. But I watched him hit, and it looks like there's no doubt he can hit. He's probably a gap hitter, power in the gaps, and probably hit a lot of doubles. And I'm sure as he gets a little older and a little more mature, the home runs will come. But he was recognized as one of the top, if not the top, college hitter in the draft.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Braun. Good pitch. 4 strikeouts today for Wainwright. Up to now 162. And the next strikeout, as Al told you, gets you to Clayton Kershaw at 163, and then Tim Lincecum at 169.
Ryan Braun, an outstanding hitter, leads the National League in road batting average. And he's up there totally confused. For whatever reason, Braun only hitting .224 at home. And he looks like he's going to fall short of hitting 30 home runs for every year that he's been in the big leagues. He's done it for 3 straight years, but only 16 home runs down.
2-2. Pulled foul. Shortstop, his younger days, high school and then in college. Talked about his progress here at the major league level, moving from third base to left field. But he's getting paid to hit, and he can do that.
Yeah, if you can hit, they're going to find a position for him. And he was a defensive liability at third, but not in left.
Up the middle, Ryan can't get it. He was shading him in the hole, and it's a 1-out base hit. Traveling this season, take the Cardinals with you at MLB.com's At Bat 2010 with your MLB.TV subscription, and watch games live or on demand from your iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad throughout the regular season. For details, visit Cardinals.com. Braun 1 for 2, and here's Fielder. Singled his first time up, first base hit for Milwaukee. They have 2 on today. The Cardinals just 1. Fielder is represented by Scott Boras, who also had Price, the #1 overall pick that signed with Washington. Steven Strasburg had some interesting comments about him. He said, look, if he doesn't want to play here, doesn't want to sign here, no problem with us. That's the way it goes. And
boy, has he changed his tune.
Well, he was asked Scott Boras was asked about the comments and to clarify it. And Strasburg has then come out and said, I want to be the guy that presents him with his jersey when he signs his contract. But they've gotten 2 phenoms, at least on paper, what everybody talks about with Strasburg and the catcher Price, who apparently will move positions.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're talking about, Strasburg, going into the draft, one of the, once in a generation type pitcher, which I always question.
So was Mark Pryor.
And yeah, so was Mark Pryor, and there's your answer. And
He's
of
trying
course,
to make a comeback
and
too.
The one this year is, you know, supposed to be a once in a generation position player, but he missed his last 2 years of high school, took his GED so he could come out early. Very young to have that kind of money and stay hungry.
Josh Hamilton can tell you about that.
Well, Josh Hamilton would never wish what happened to him on anybody.
And Hamilton is hitting .359 start of play today. Could be the MVP of the American League. Texas has turned out to be a nice story this year with their ownership situation, but they've made some very good deals. And many believe they could be the front runner, even more so than Tampa Bay and the Yankees, to come out of the American League. 1-2 to Fielder.
And their new ownership is committed to spending even more.
Nolan Ryan, part of that group.
The outfield just kind of bunched in the outfield, not particularly deep. This time a fielder gets a hold of one, it's going over your head anyway, so see if you can take hits away from him inside, in front of you.
1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, runner at first. Time is called. Cardinals in the bottom of this inning will have Jay, Pujols, and Holiday. Out to visit here. They want to make sure they're on the same page. The dangerous bad like Fielder.
Exactly right. One swing could determine the outcome of this game. So, Wainwright might have one thought in mind. Molina may be trying to convince him of something else. And so, just take a minute, get together, and say, well, why do you want to throw that pitch? Let Molina talk him into it, or say, no, good idea, but I like my theory better.
And he got him. I don't know if it was Yachty or Waino, but doesn't matter. It's a strikeout.
Good communication.
You bet. Number 5 today for Adam Wainwright.
And the thing is it's a fastball. So after a conference like that, you think they're trying to, okay, how are we going to trick him? Where are we going to throw the cutter? We're going to throw the curveball. We're going to throw the changeup. The last thing you're thinking is a fastball. And it's also a good lesson. Don't think so much. Go up there with a game plan, stay with it, and you always want to look fastball. And you can adjust to everything else. But if you're looking curveball off of Wainwright, the one thing you can do is pound it in dirt, and you aren't going to really drive that ball unless it's a hanger. But if you're looking fastball, you got a chance to hit the fastball and adjust to any other secondary pitch.
Casey McGee, the 1-0 pitch. 2-run homer was the difference last night. Line drive over the center field wall. Wainwright has a pretty good move for being a big man. 6'7", quick feet, athletic.
And that's a very good point. Usually when a guy is 6'4" and above, they're slow. But he is such a good athlete that, he has those quick feet, and, he can whip the ball over there quickly. And talk about freezing a hitter on another breaking ball. But look at that. That starts out over his head and then breaks down to the knee.
Finally set. 1-2 pitch. Molina sets up outside. It's the fastball there, and it's 2-2. McGee's sitting on 19 home runs. A lot of thunder in this lineup. Runner goes, the 2-2. Adjusting on the play, Miles had to get back to get that baseball, and McGee grounds out to second. Big bats, Jay, Pujols, Holiday coming up. Tom Henke records his 300th career save, holding off a Braves 9th inning rally. Cardinals beat Atlanta 4-3. Schnucks at this date in history. Bottom of 4 rolls in. 2, 3, and 4 for St. Louis.
Where's the offense, Dan?
Only 1 hit. Floats for a ball. Outside corner to Jay, who struck out his first time. Pitch was at 64 miles an hour. And then he'll throw the fastball at 89.
So, huge differential.
One and two.
Jay, when you go back to last night and his strikeout tonight, 4 Ks in a row.
2 Cardinals have struck out 5 times in a row. Adam Ottavino and Felipe Lopez.
One's a pitcher.
It's acceptable, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit high.
But, you know, they call 3 strikeouts in a game. You know, a hat trick. 4 is golden sombrero. You know what 5 in a row is in the same game? Your release.
As Jay strikes out. Not the same game right here,
Not the same game. Not the same game. Lefties that came in batting .301 against Randy, and he's gotten John Jay twice in this game. His 3rd strikeout.
Braves appear to be close to landing Derek Lee from the Chicago Cubs. Chipper Jones out. They could shift Gloss over to 3rd and play Lee at 1st.
That's funny because, you know, Lee's been out of the lineup the last couple of days with a bulging disc in his back. He's had, just always think about the one in his neck. I don't know if it's the same one, but, you know, when somebody says the back, I think more lower.
1 and 2. Did not accept a deal to Anaheim, but apparently would accept a deal to the Atlanta Braves. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Pujols. Waiting for it. He'll ground to short. Escobar up with it. Makes the play. 2 outs. Calling all fishermen. Submit a photo of you and your best catch to Bass Pro Shops located in St. Charles, Missouri for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Cardinals campout on Friday, August 27th. If you'd like more information, visit cardinals.com/campout. Holiday fly to right, first time up, 0 for 1. He's about due for a home run, sitting on 21.
That's where he is. And he's a .372 career hitter against Milwaukee.
Last home run was back on the 3rd of this month against Houston. 2-0. Popped out. Fielder makes the catch. Holiday and the Cardinals go easily 1-2-3. We head to the 5th. No score. Let's flash back earlier this year. Adam Wainwright finally got one under his belt. Went the distance and a complete game shutout. 9 innings, 2 hits, walked 1 and struck out 8. With a sense of relief.
And he is 2-0 with 2 complete games against Milwaukee this season. And off to another fine start here today, but an ERA of 0.50. And now you add 4 more shutout innings to that total. Currently, his ERA is down to 1.95 for the season. Trying to become the first 18-game winner in the National League. And in my mind, he's leading the league in ERA and tied for first in wins. I mean, he's the front runner for the Cy Young.
This is line down the right field line and foul. The big headlines for the longest period of time this year went to, and rightfully so, Ubaldo Jimenez. He's at 17 wins. Roy Halladay is at 15, and then Velasco is at 14, along with Tim Hudson. It didn't seem like that's all we heard about was Ubaldo Jimenez.
Well, and like you said, rightfully so, but he played 6 months. And he had it wrapped up in the first 2 months. Then reality sets in.
There's a liner into left center field. This could be trouble, and it is. It gets down, and Kane can really run. On his way to second. He'll stop there, though. Leadoff double for Milwaukee to start the 5th. arguably, this would be your top 5 Cy Young candidates, and along with Carpenter, who probably would make his way on this list as well. But Wainwright, 17-6, ERA under 2. Then you have Jimenez, Josh Johnson, plagued by bad luck this year. Roy Halladay, 15-8, a lot of complete games. And then Tim Hudson is back to form like he was with Oakland.
Well, there's no doubt that Carpenter and Wainwright split the votes. As Adam won the most games in the National League, and they canceled out, knocked each other out of the Cy Young. And Lincecum, who is an outstanding pitcher, who is not quite the same this year, and he did not really finish strong last year. So it was really surprising what he did in September. Should have knocked him out of the Cy Young.
One ball, one strike. Take a look at the defense here of John Jay. This very well could have been a triple, but he played this pretty well.
Got the carom right there, gets the ball back. There's not a problem with anything we've seen defensively with him, or really any aspect of his game. He's well taught.
1-2. Going back to Tim Lincecum, we'll see him on Saturday against Carpenter. Talking with a scout today that recently has followed the Giants, and he said he really is struggling with his mechanics, and he can't locate his fastball.
And the velocity is down significant.
Good catch and a strikeout. Molina will look back the runner at second. Fires to Pujols. And Escobar is strikeout number 6 for Adam Wainwright.
Going back to Lincecum, you as a fan, you want to see him pitch. And as a Cardinal fan, you don't want to see it against the Redbirds.
Back-to-back Cy Young awards for Tim Lincecum.
Not very good at bat there at all, as swings at a ball well off the plate and can't advance the runner.
Here's Gutierrez, fly to center. This scout that I talked to, Al, was saying, well, he said it's a judgment of many of us that follow the Giants. His mechanics are so hard to follow anyway, but you'll watch the results, and clearly, in their opinion, he's just not quite right. Wouldn't teach those mechanics, but it works for him.
No, not at all. And of course, there was a lot of people that tried to tell Stan Musial you can't hit the way he swung the bat. Thank goodness he didn't listen.
Taken for a ball. 2 balls and a strike.
And Dan, until an individual fails, and Lincecum has not, he may be faltering, but he hasn't failed, leave him alone.
He's still second in the league in strikeouts.
That's what I mean.
Runner goes. Good jump. Throw to third. And a stolen base for Kane. That's number 2 for Kane.
Very aggressive right there, and gets away with it. A lot of times you don't do that with a left-handed batter because the catcher has a clear throw. And, you see Brendan Ryan shadowing, trying to keep him close there, but just great speed, gets there. Molina, you don't run off of him. Accuracy, but just a little better speed. And whether Adam could have paid a little more attention to him, that's would probably be more the fault than anything that Molina could have done.
Infield in. Here comes a 2-2. Back to Wainwright. Play at the plate. No. Try to shuffle it to Molina. And the run scores. The speed of Kane generating that run. Double, stolen base, and comes in on the infield hit.
There's a great example of how difficult to defense, say, a suicide squeeze. Obviously it wasn't a squeeze, it's a swinging bunt. But as a pitcher, you come in, try with a stiff arm and flip that ball to the catcher. Now, many times you try and do it not with your glove, but you do it with your bare hand. And you see he never got it into the pocket. Got it on the side, and then he never could flip it. But a good, you put down a bunt, even if it's right back at the pitcher, it's still very difficult to defense a suicide bunt. And in that case, just a swinging bunt allows them to score the first run, complicated by the speed.
Another bunting situation popped up. Yachty just short. Good effort.
And obviously, when you think about Kane out there at second base with the 8th place hitter up and pitcher on deck, you're obviously going to be going on contact. And here's a great effort here by Yachty, just inches away. And here you see he takes that secondary lead. You heard the contact, comes flying home. Adam couldn't flip the ball to Molina, and Cardinals are down 1-0.
Off the glove of Wainwright. With time, Brendan Ryan double play. That'll go 1-6-3. 1-0 Milwaukee. Who holds the Brewers record for most home runs allowed in a season? It's one of the problems they've had this year with their pitching staff. But Braden Looper, 39. He gave up 39 home runs a year ago. I think both you and I were surprised. Despite the 39 that he gave up, he still won some games last year and wasn't picked up by anybody this season.
Yes, you would have thought somebody would, even if it was a AAA contract. I'm sure he had those kind of offers, invite to spring training, but felt like he deserved a big league contract. Saw John Denny. This was several years ago, but the first year he sat out, and I saw him and looked like he was in great shape. I said, "John, you ought to come back and try and make a comeback." He started screaming at me. I never retired. I said, "Well, most people, when you sit out a year, they think you retired." He goes, "Well, I never formally said that." I said, "Okay, John."
I don't think we ever heard that from Looper either.
I don't think he was screaming at anybody.
No. 2-1 the count. Alan Craig here, then Molina and Miles. Late with that swing.
People forget, Braden Looper was a first-round draft pick of the Cardinals out of Wichita State. He was their closer and went on to have a very fine career.
Part of the Renteria deal. Get out of play. The Cardinals eventually got him back, and Looper was part of 2 World Series teams. One with the Marlins in 2003 and 06 with St. Louis.
And resurrected himself as a starter.
At the time, people thought that was crazy, but that was the idea that Dave Duncan had, and pretty reliable starter at that.
Yes, he was.
Craig with a fly ball into shallow right. Hart won't get there. Drops in for a base hit. Cheer on the Cardinals against their rival, the Chicago Cubs, September 24th through the 26th. It's the official Cardinals road trip to Wrigley package. And that package will include hotel accommodations, game tickets, and an exclusive Cardinals event. Reserve your spot on the road trip. Again, that's September 24th, 25th, and 26th. Number to call is 800-892-7687. Always head to the website, cardinals.com/vacations. Here's Molina, who reached on an error. Cardinals need to generate something. That's only the second base hit.
Wasn't pretty, but it looks like a line drive in the scorebook. And maybe that'll bring some good luck to Alan Craig and ignite a big rally right here.
Tampa Bay, bottom of the 7th, leading Texas 6-2. San Diego in the bottom of the 4th, on top of Chicago 3-1. The Padres are for real. Win number 71 last night.
Most wins in the National League, right?
71 and 47.
Cardinals currently are 2 games back in the Central and a game and a half off the wild card.
That's why this weekend is so important with the Giants. That's another team that may not win their division. They're 5 games out in the West.
But they lead the wild card,
right? Check that. They're 1 back of Philly. Yachty pops it up. Playable. McGee over. Brings in Aaron Miles.
Fundamentals. Errors last night. Costing the ball game. Inability to bunt over the weekend. Sacrifice men. Move runners over. All the little things add up.
Miles lined out first time up. Seen a few hard hit balls. Miles had one.
Yeah.
Brendan Ryan lined into a double play.
He'll get the job done. He'll hit to the right side here. And be tough for a first to third, but Cardinal fans are rooting for that. And then Adam can drive in the first Cardinal run.
Pitch to Miles. With Craig going back to first, Wolf has a pretty decent move. 2-0, and he wanted that call. We've seen the starters a couple of times frustrated with his strike zone of Paul Newer. Randy should know about strike zones and arguing with umpires. His brother, of course, a major league umpire. 3-0.
There's a fundamentally sound ball player. That 3-0. Even if Aaron Miles gets a pitch he feels he can drive, I think we'd all rather have him take it and look for a more desirable 3-1 count.
And he does take it. Up and away. First walk by Randy Wolf. He thought that was a strike. Let's take a look at our MissouriLottery.com box tracks. And it tells us it was a strike. Here's Wainwright, who has one of the 2 hits today. Single up the middle. Strike 1. I don't know if I'd be opposed to seeing Wainwright swing the bat here.
I don't mind showing bunt the first time, but then I'll go with you. And you got all the defense anticipating it. You got a big gap on the left side of the infield. There's the third baseman charging, shortstop shadowing the runner. He's close there.
And the bunt is a perfect bunt if it stays fair, and it rolls foul. Strike 2. Nothing in 2 the count.
Lesser hitting pitchers than Wainwright. A lot of times Tony would keep the bunt on with 2 strikes. We'll see kind of how they play it defensively, but with Fielder already in on the grass. Same thing with McGee at third base. He'll kind of be charging in looking for the bunt. The shortstop is close to the second base bag. A lot of area, just the normal shortstop area. I don't ever mind seeing Adam swing the bat. It's his ball game. Showing bunt, still could pull it back and butcher boy it.
Ooh. 1 and 2. Wolf is not getting that outside corner.
Tony a few years ago was extremely creative with pitchers hitting in bunting situations. Seeing him pretty much play it by the book by sacrificing people over.
And Wainwright strikes out. You see that very often from Adam.
No, you do not. No, you do not. And Adam knows that he's a good enough athlete and normally can help himself. And in this case, he doesn't.
Brendan Ryan lined to the shortstop his first time up. Turned into a double play. I want to remind you that we'll be on the air at 6:30 on Friday night. What's on Tap presented by Budweiser. Bumgarner is 4-4 against Jake Westbrook on the year, 7-7, but 1-0 with the Cardinals. What's on Tap presented by Budweiser. 2 outs, 2 on for Brendan Ryan. Good numbers against Randy Wolf in his career.
I think with that slow breaking ball that Brendan would have trouble with him, but the numbers do not indicate that. But here's a key situation. You know, what do you do with a couple men on?
2 outs, 2 on. The 1-1 pitch.
I've seen Randy throw as many inside as we normally do. And a lot of times they will tell you that depends on whether he gets that outside pitch called, whether he's going to have a successful game or not. He has pitched much better the last 4 times out.
Brendan Ryan has been a part of 76 double plays. And remember, he has not been an everyday shortstop. Hit and miss at times this year. And all those double plays, tops in the National League. So he looks at a strike, 2-2.
Tremendous range. So he gets to a lot more balls than others, and you primarily have a ground ball staff.
Pitch number 68 coming from Wolf. Another off-speed pitch. Got him to pop it in the air to center. Cardinals will strand 2. They trail 1-0 after 5. The Cardinals win. The next day, get a free buffet with a purchase of 1 at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by Taco Bell. Open 2 a.m. or later. Cardinals, just 2 base hits here this afternoon. When that happens, you look flat. Whether you are or not is a different story. Give Randy Wolf a little credit in how he's pitched today, too.
And Dave Bush last night. But, you know, there were a lot of pitches that were hittable. The Cardinals just didn't do much with them. And, you know, that happens, but when you're in the pennant race, you just hope they don't happen to everybody in your lineup. Mark McGuire saying there was only 1 good swing last night against Bush, and that was the home run by Albert.
That's over Lopez. Ricky Weeks with a base hit. Stay put with a leadoff single here in the 6th inning. 1 for 3 on the day, and here's Corey Hart, who was grounded out to short and also struck out.
It's 4 innings. The leadoff man has reached base off of Adam. And breaking ball, they kind of have a little hump in it down the way, but it hooks it and it gets right over the head or in the outstretched glove of Felipe Lopez.
Mike Leake has been moved out of the rotation for the Reds. Work out of the bullpen now for Dusty Baker.
Where he's been their rookie pitcher. Struggled for about 10 starts, haven't he?
Yeah, Leake in his last 11, ERA of almost 6. Here's Corey Hart. Wainwright would love the double play. Hart is struck out and also grounded out to short. That's a strike, 0-2.
Well, I'm not happy with that call.
Brewers have been aggressive today. 0-2 pitch. pulled foul. It was a double, a steal by Kane. He was at third, and on a swinging bunt by Gutierrez, he picked up his 24th RBI. Oh, 2 pitch, too hard again. Got him. Strikeout number 7 for Wainwright.
You talk about that index finger that he raises up. You really don't use it on your curveball. Most people would just kind of lay it on the ball, but Adam just totally takes it off and sticks it straight in the air. But they sure aren't picking up that pitch as they swing at a ball in the dirt. And the Cardinals want to wish a speedy recovery to Pat Wittenberg. She lives in Wildwood, Missouri. Her house is known as the Cardinal House. So thanks, Pat, for being a lifelong Cardinal fan, and get well soon.
Ryan Braun, the hitter, with 1 out and a runner at first.
She also has a banner in her yard that says St. Louis Cardinals support our troops. Most definitely, we all do.
Well, there was Jim Fregosi watching Derek Lee over the weekend here at Busch Stadium. And Lee may have found himself a new home with that 3-game series against the Cardinals.
I talked to Fregosi last night, and he's an assistant to their general manager down in Atlanta, former manager. And I said, are you interested in some of these potential managerial jobs or these openings this winter? And he goes, well, I don't think I'll solicit one, but I definitely would listen if somebody called me. But he did tell me that he thought that Atlanta wasn't through dealing. Is that official yet about Derek?
It is not official. Still working out the details, but you know, a situation for them would be Troy Gloss, who's only hitting 192 in his last 36 games. So, you know, that's a concern for them. And the loss of Chipper Jones, they've got Omar Infante who can play third base, but you know, if they're looking for pop, they may get it out of Derek Lee.
You know, they got their second baseman back, Prado. But he played third, I think, last night. You know, but and Gloss, I've heard he's pretty banged up himself, and the reason why his offensive numbers are down. Whether he can go back to third base, but Derek Lee would probably fit in very well for that club right now. They're in first place, but Chipper's a big blow, and if Gloss is hanging on one leg.
2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at first. Braun is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Long look by Wainwright. That time is called.
Many times when you see a pitcher stand there that long, you know, that's kind of one of those keys to controlling the running game, where you just stand with no intention of going to the plate and just wait for that batter to call timeout, but it takes the spring out of the legs of a base runner.
Two and two the count. 1 out, runner at first. 1-0 Milwaukee. Wainwright is set. Here it comes. Double play ball. Wainwright out at second. Out at first. Double play. 1-6-3 on the double play. Lopez, Jay, Pujols coming up. and a runner at first. We go pitch by pitch, presented by Chevrolet. And eventually, Adam Wainwright would break his bat and induce the double play.
You see just a couple different, the cutters away, fastballs in. Finally got him to reach for it. Ricky Weeks goes after the pivot man. Showing the arm strength there as he's kind of standing flat-footed.
He also was moving back away from first base, it looked like.
Yeah, well, I think part of that was to avoid the runner, but he has plenty of arm strength, and that ability to throw sidearm, it doesn't phase him a bit.
Felipe Lopez with a fly ball out to center, at the track near the wall, and it's caught as Kane is there. This season, easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games that you can't make on StubHub. It's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. You'll find great seats, great service on StubHub all season. Just head to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Felipe gave it a ride, trying to get his 7th home run. Here's John Jay, who's in a little bit of a funk with 2 strikeouts here this afternoon and 0 for 2.
And his last 5 plate appearances, going back to last night tonight, 5 straight strikeouts.
Puts the ball in play here. Weeks over. They get Jay by step. That brings in Pujols. Quickly 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Albert 0 for 2. He is fly to left and also grounded to short. Before the ball game today, there was talk that Jason LaRue could be done for the year. Still suffering from that concussion, the fight against Cincinnati.
And Stephen Hill was sent down after he got his first major league hit, a home run on Sunday, 1 for 3. And Brian Anderson has been recalled. One of the reasons why Hill came up from Double-A and not Pagnazzi or Anderson,
Albert launches one into center, but that'll be caught.
Was that they were in Reno and couldn't get here in time for Cincinnati.
6 pitches, and Wolf is through 6. Our U.S. Cellular text poll, and 48% for today's starter, Adam Wainwright, as he closed out the 2006 campaign in a World Series championship.
I thought Adam was going to win that because of what he's doing currently and that he's pitching today. And a little surprised Todd Worrell didn't get a few more votes. I thought all 4 of them were just excellent Cardinals and took care of their craft.
Cardinals are 15-17 this year against the Brewers, Astros, and Cubs. It just doesn't make any sense.
Teams, if you're going to win, you have to dominate against them. And it's really, they've struggled against the sub 500 teams, and clubs above 500, they've played very well.
0-2, Fielder goes down to get it and picks up a base hit.
Another leadoff base hit.
It didn't look to be a bad pitch.
Well, some way, you kind of go from memory, but it was such a slow breaking ball that he was able to adjust to it. But look at that vertical drop, and just totally off balance. Didn't hit it particularly well, but he's on first base. And of the 7 innings, 5 times the leadoff man's reached base. Totally uncharacteristic of Adam.
Here's Casey McGee, and the Cardinals need another double play.
Turned 3 today.
Wainwright, Carpenter, Cardinals 36-15 in games started by those two, and 39-37 started by the other members of the staff.
And Dan, there's probably at least 3 games from each of them that they should have won with just minimal support.
Slowly hit to short. They'll get the lead man, Fielder. Brendan Ryan has been busy today, and he knew the speed of Fielder and made a good play.
Anytime you can keep that man from reaching scoring position, you're doing yourself a favor, and the ball just was not hit well enough to be a double play ball.
It brings in Kane, who has scored the only run. And his speed is a factor today.
Absolutely. Just manufactured this after that little hanging breaking ball. He turns it into a double. And that great speed, he steals third. And then just a swinging bunt. He's able to score the only run of the game, as Adam couldn't flip it to his catcher. So definitely a manufactured run by Mr. Kane. Very high on this young man, aren't they, Dan?
And they should be, and they love his speed. They think that defensively he's very smooth and ahead of where they thought he might be when they got him. And we've seen him in just a brief 2 games here, really a game and a half, and very smooth out in center field.
Yeah, we saw a little bit gliding over to get a ball where he can cover a lot of ground with that long stride. Looks effortless.
Think about some of the center fielders in this division. This guy, McCutchen, born all with very good speed. McCutchen of the Pirates, born of Houston. Colby Rasmus, good speed here in St. Louis. There's a liner, and that's a base hit. This could be trouble. That'll go to the wall. McGee being waved in. He will score, and Kane almost lapped him. He's at third base. Big day for Lorenzo Kane. 2-0 Milwaukee. How about that speed? Just watching him out of the box and getting to third.
A lot more enjoyable when he's wearing a Cardinal uniform to see a guy go from home to first, but plugs the gap out right there. You mentioned McGee running right here, and he's running as hard as he can, but almost got lapped by the speed. Look at that, just that long stride, and just now he kind of turning it on a little bit. And he's watching all the way, and I mean, he's kind of just on cruise control. He wasn't even running that hard because he had the runner in front of him.
1-out triple. Here's Escobar, who has walked and scored. Go along with a strikeout, and the infield is drawn in.
There's a situation where possibility of a squeeze, so you kind of just sit there and hold the ball, see if Escobar gets a little fidgety, see if the runner does something. Guys on the bench, the fielders out there trying to pick up any little nuance to see if they can tell what the play is. There's a pitch out, trying to sniff out whether is it going to be a squeeze or not. 7th place hitter, then you got the 8th place hitter. So with Wainwright's ability to strike out guys, the squeeze becomes a significant option. And I just saw in that how they scored their first run. You put the bunt down, it is so difficult to defense it.
2 balls and no strikes.
Not showing any sign there, but now that it's 2-0, possibility becomes even more so.
308 hitter with runners in scoring position this year.
Thought maybe a pitch out there, and you might even see another one.
Gutierrez, who hits from the left side, rarely will you see a squeeze with a left-handed bat.
Right. So that made it all the more to think that this is the possibility here.
3-1.
He's buckled on that breaking ball. Usually verbally that third base coach can tell the runner what's going on, and most of the time you want a answer from the batter to make sure he gets it.
Curveball hit in the air, and Craig lines it up. Here comes a throw from Alan Craig to the plate, not in time. And Milwaukee looking for a sweep. Has a 3-0 lead, and there's that speed of Kane again coming into play on a shallow fly ball to right field.
Yeah, shallow, but even Ludwig or something, you doubt that anybody's going to be able to throw him out with that tremendous speed. Casually goes back, tags up, and takes off. Just a sprint. Go ahead. You're in your mind, you're thinking you need to slide, so just go ahead and execute it. Molina's way out in front, but that way you don't hurt yourself being caught in between.
Gutierrez had the first RBI in the ball game back in the 5th. This is 24th.
Yeah, drove the ball about 12 feet.
Yeah. Get the feeling this would be it for Wainwright. That's pitch number 104.
You know he's going to finish this inning, and hopeful that he finishes it with this batter.
1-1 pitch. Like Garcia last night, Wainwright has pitched well enough for a win today.
And Garcia gave up 3 runs. They were all unearned. Cardinals had a Pujols home run last night for their offense until real late, and then they're really kind of given a run. Scored on a wild pitch, and here nothing. Only 2 hits, and one of them by Adam.
The 2-2. Rounder hit to second. Miles there makes the play. Time to stretch as Milwaukee adds to their lead with 2 runs here in the top of the 7th. Kane has scored 2 of those today. 3-0 Brewers. Merchandise winner, the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run, Jim Williams qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer.
Dan, we assume Wainwright is through for the afternoon. We'll see if his teammates can't come from behind and get him off the hook. But his ERA goes up to 2.06. That's Hawksworth. 2.06. He'd still be leading the National League in ERA. Second would be Tim Hudson at 2.13. You can go crazy watching these stats the last 6 weeks trying to think of the awards.
Holiday is 0 for 2 this afternoon. Alan Craig on deck, and then Molina. 3-0 Milwaukee. Holiday lifts a fly ball out to left field. And the catch made by Ryan Braun. So the Milwaukee Brewers have come in. We still got time, but they've come in and shut down this offense 2 games in a row.
You know, if you contain Pujols and Holiday, you know, there's an awful lot of very young, inexperienced hitters. A veteran like Felipe Lopez is 0 for 3 today, but he is way below his hitting ability. Last couple of years, he's been a 300-plus hitter. And right-handed now, he's only 220, and left-handed under 300. So Lopez 247. You know, Craig is a rookie. He's under 200. Molina 250. Miles, you know, a part-time player, and actually so is Felipe. Supposed to be an extra man.
And this is a fly ball out to left again. Braun makes that catch on the run.
I mentioned the liability at third, but he holds his own out there and left.
He's fine.
Only 2 errors on the season, and that's a fine play there.
They actually say that he gets some of the better jumps over some of the other outfielders.
Yeah, this one, you know, he had to have a pretty good jump on that one. So,
good play.
He's gone to his right and to his left on this this inning.
Molina hits it out of play.
Cardinals really up there just hacking and not working Randy at all.
Last 5 outs took a total of 9 pitches. 2 outs, nobody on. Big gap in the left center for Yadier Molina.
That's what you were hoping on getaway day. The Brewers would be taking that approach.
Molina with a fly ball out to left. And Braun is under it, makes the catch. 3-0 after 7. AT Mobility. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Cardinals, it's a total of 13 pitches the last 2 innings. That's it. 6 in the 6th and 7 pitches in the 7th. Chevy called to the bullpen, and it's Blake Hawksworth.
He threw 3 scoreless innings on Sunday. I wouldn't necessarily think that he is out of the rotation totally. As you know, Loesch will make another start on Sunday. Suppan did a simulated game, so they'll make a decision on him next couple weeks. See Blake's numbers on the year. He started 7 games, went 3-3 with a 5 ERA during that time.
Last time we saw him was on Sunday. He was very good. 3 innings, 2 hits, struck out 2, and no runs. Randy Wolf will lead it off. Top of the 8th for Milwaukee. Wolf has bounced into a double play and also struck out. No need to go to their bullpen today with the way that he's been pitching.
Well, the way the Cardinals have helped out.
Yep.
You know, swinging early in the counts, getting outs, and pretty healthy cut right there for a pitcher.
And another one.
Where's an early win when you need it? Young hitter be going to the plate, start digging in, you know, trying to get a toe hold, and you go, keep on going, kid. Stop at 6 feet because that's where I'm going to bury you.
A lot of talk about third base and what the Cardinals may do. And Tyler Green has been activated and will start to play down in the minor leagues. He could be an option at third base.
But there again, there's, you know, I mean, Tyler Green is not an accomplished hitter. He's a young hitter that, you know, has holes.
Brewers today have struck out 8 times, 7 of those by Adam Wainwright.
And remember, too, that when Ludwig was traded, the mindset of the ball club was that they were going to get, within a week, David Freese back. So the injury on rehab to end David's season really complicated the situation for the Cardinals in their offense.
Weeks taking his time getting to the plate. Give Randy Wolf a little breather in that dugout for Milwaukee.
And Dan, you know, the loss of David Freese was a big blow to the offense, but also you really missed his glove and his defensive play.
I think he surprised a lot of folks with how he played his defense.
I agree. You know, he had a real shaky 1 inning early. And
that was against Milwaukee.
Yeah, and people kind of thought that, you know, okay, this is a reflection of how he's going to play, but that wasn't the case. He played better than average. And of course, with the severity of that ankle surgery and the fact that both those ankles have required surgery, and you know, you just kind of moving forward, you kind of worry about his dependability.
3-1 the count. Weeks has struck out, grounded out, and singled. Brendan Ryan, 2 away. Two outs, Corey Hart. Hart with a hitless afternoon, pair of strikeouts, grounded out to short.
Look at about the last 10 days, almost 2 weeks, the bullpen has been exceptional.
Yes. Lopez with it. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Blake Hawksworth. Seven innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, and he has struck out 4. Cardinals never really threatened against the lefty here this afternoon. And this young man has been a story today. Lorenzo Cain, who is a center fielder from Milwaukee. Double, triple, couple runs scored, and an RBI. Lorenzo Cain. 3-0 as we move to the bottom of the 8th.
Good work by Hawksworth. The afternoon's through as Stavanoa's on deck. And it looks like Ryan Franklin will come in and at the very least get a tune-up.
Nice piece put together by our producers, Mike Kelly and Brian McCann, on Ryan Franklin here earlier today.
He hasn't pitched since Friday night, so he needs a little work with the off day tomorrow.
Boy, he has really changed speeds today. We've seen that a lot. Cardinals have been out in their front foot, and it's a pop-up for Miles for the first out. Brings it like Stavanoa.
It's not like you haven't seen him before. This is his 4th start. And they all know about that very slow, tantalizing curveball. But they're acting like they'd never faced him again. Stavanoa has had a very good year. 266 overall. 2 home runs. They were pinch hit home runs. Been a very good pinch hitter. He had a single on Sunday. That was his first game after the recall. He's got 11 pinch hits this year. 2 pinch hit home runs. One against Milwaukee, a game winner, for Hoffman. And he played. He's Milwaukee facing the all-time save leader and goes down and gets that off-speed pitch, lifts it for a home run. It ended up being a game winner. Hit one in Philadelphia that broke a tie score eventually for a winner. And in his career, his brief career, he's already got 3 pinch hit home runs. He really put on a hitting tear when he got sent down to Memphis. Fight this one off, and
Weeks again.
A little easy pop up.
Brendan Ryan will be the hitter with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Randy Wolf, outstanding today with 2 hits allowed.
He's had 89 pitches on the day, and boy, the last 3 innings have gone very, very quickly for him.
41,400.
And over 85,000 for the two games. Tuesday and Wednesday day game. Tuesday night, Wednesday day game.
We saw in that highlight Joe Mather, see the pitches by inning. Getting better as this game has moved on. Makes you wonder what Joe is doing. I have not seen anything, and that hits Brendan Ryan.
Appears to be okay. Hit him in the hand, or where did you get the hand up around the helmet, or what? I'm not sure. All up and in, and Tony hot again, as he believes nobody should be in the game if they don't have control on inside pitches. But Brendan's so much off balance and movement, and that ball is letter high. Comes in there, looks like it nicks his hand.
Here's Felipe Lopez. Wolf, for their bullpen, will still have to go through some big bats. Jay is on deck, then Pujols and Holiday. One ball, one strike.
You're right, Dan. He has got a lot of mileage out of that off-speed pitch, that slow, tantalizing curveball. Going to the mid-60s.
They just can't lay off it.
No. Way out in front on it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 2-2 on Lopez. Lopez is 0 for 3. He's lined out. He's also flied out to right, flied out to center. Pitch count at 96 for Randy Wolf.
Closer beginning to loosen.
And a ground ball too short. Force play at second. Sends us to the ninth. Milwaukee and Randy Wolf looking for a sweep. It's 3-0. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live coming up. Redbirds had a total of 6 hits last night. And here today through 8 innings, 2. And it's our Chevy call to the bullpen. Ryan Franklin comes in. Needs a little work.
Well, he hasn't pitched since the Cardinals' last victory. That was on Friday night when he pitched a perfect 9th inning for his 21st save. He's 3rd in the National League in save percentage, 91+%. Tied for 9th in saves with 21. Allowed just 6 walks in 47+ innings. And he just needs a tune-up.
Off day tomorrow, then Giants in town for 3. With so much hope that came out of that Cincinnati series, and it has not carried over. Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 against the Cubs, and on the verge of being swept here by Milwaukee. And this is a team that has been very good here at home this year. 1 win shy of 40 this season.
They came into this homestand with 20 games over 500 at home, and so far they've only won 1. Playing in their 5th game. And really, Dan, the offense just hasn't been there. They'd have a couple shaky starts, but these last 2 starts, Cardinal starters pitch well enough to win. There's just no support.
0-2 the count on Ryan Braun. Braun hit into a double play back in the 6th. He is singled. That was in the 4th. And grounded back to Adam Wainwright, who is on the hook right now. Lopez to his left. 1 away. Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th will have Jay, Pujols, and Holiday. So 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Ryan Franklin says next year is probably going to be it for him. Did you hear in that piece that we had earlier today? But he's still effective right now.
Yeah, it's just hard to believe. Cardinals are on the verge of being shut out for the 11th time this year, and they really do need to score, more than 3 runs to win. They're 59-15 when they score 3 runs or more, and fewer than 3 runs, 5-32.
Out of play. 1-2 here on Prince Fielder. Couple of hits today, and also a strikeout looking in the 4th. Two and 2.
Fielder should get a pretty good pitch here, as Franklin with that impeccable control.
A 3-2 pitch to Prince Fielder. Got him to pop it up on a 76-mile-an-hour pitch. Brendan with the catch, and there's 2 outs.
I was thinking a pretty good pitch, but I wasn't thinking something like that. Off-speed pitch. You can do that when you're behind the count. You get a lot of hitters out in your front foot.
But he mentioned, 4 pitches anytime in the count. He feels comfortable throwing, and he just showed you right there.
He had a couple rough games this year. One, I remember he walked 2 in a game, and you just knew that just wasn't him.
Casey McGee fouls it back.
And probably one of those times when he needed some work.
McGee with a called 3rd strike back in the 2nd. He's grounded out to 2nd, and also into a fielder's choice.
Dan, the good thing about the 9th inning for the Redbirds is They got the right part of the order to start a rally, and then when they hit around, that part of the order will win the ball game. Their second plate appearances of the inning. You with me?
I'm with you. This team is just hard to figure out. As well as they played in Cincinnati, and then really they have a letdown with what we've seen the last two series. But that can change. 3 outs to go in the bottom of the ninth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Unique look at the closer for Milwaukee out there getting loose. John Axford.
Picked up a save last night.
The hard thrower, mid to upper 90s.
And you'd have to think he's going to pitch the ninth. Is a save situation. So automatic, you must bring in the closer.
Sure would be tempted to leave Randy Wolf out there with what he's done.
It's not like that bullpen has had a lot of days off.
A 3-2 pitch to Casey McGee.
And of course they may let Randy go out there, and if he gets in any kind of trouble.
That was the thing. The Cardinals got into their bullpen last night. They are first in innings, hits allowed. If Milwaukee could just get their pitching staff in order last year and this year, their team would be right in the hunt for the Central Division Championship. 3-2 pitch. Fouled back again. Lopez to his left makes the play. 2 Pujols. Jay, Albert, Holiday all coming up. Bottom of the ninth, it's 3-0.
Inning, Lorenzo Cain's been the big story. He's also our Hardy's prime cut of the game. This is his triple and RBI. That made it 2-0. Of course, he scored the first run after he doubled and stole third and just really manufactured a run. Been very impressive in this series, the young center fielder. Randy Wynn is going to hit for John Jay, who is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Wolf will stay out there. If he gets any trouble, they'll go to their bullpen. And you know, as a kind of a fine line as a pinch hitter, you know, you've been sitting there on the bench. You have to be aggressive, but still that fine line. Make this pitcher work. Here's a hard hit ball right to Escobar and stays with it. Throw up the line, but Prince Fielder makes a tag and hurts his wrist. Immediately dropped his glove, and you know, you got the runner going by. You always worry about that because you're kind of vulnerable. And he just dropped that glove, been walking around as you assume it's that wrist. He's shaking that hand out. So Escobar throws up the line, then you see the little collision.
It's a good play by Fielder.
And you get your hand in there. Randy just kind of in the midsection, but you know, you feel like your arm gets ripped out of your shoulder socket. But he's really thinking of working on his wrist or hand. Says he's okay. Probably try and throw a ball. And that'll bring up Albert.
Yep. So he'll stay in the ball game, shaking that left wrist or that left hand.
Only 2 hits for the Cardinals this afternoon. One of them, the first one by Adam Wainwright, this pitcher, and then Alan Craig got a bloop hit. As Randy Wolf and his defense have been very good today. Milwaukee has committed the only error of the game.
Randy Wolf has allowed just 2 hits through 8 1/3.
A couple well hit balls early that were right at somebody, but really very few until
deep left. And off the glove of Braun. That's one he'd love to have back. Pujols into second base. Call that an error on Ryan Braun.
He scored a double. Hanging breaking ball, just got that big loop, gets underneath it, and should have been caught.
Initially, I thought they said error, so it's been changed to a double.
And that'll probably be it for Randy Wolf. Ball should have been caught. Knocks him out of this game. 3-hitter for 8 1/3 innings. Actually, Braun jumped up and reached beyond the ball. So they'll bring in their closer.
Axford coming in. That's it for Randy Wolf. Outstanding performance here this afternoon. 102 pitches, 64 were strikes, 8 1/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Our Budweiser player of the game. You know, he's been in this spot before. He has 8 complete games in his career, but not today. And those are complete game shutouts that he had, 8. And Axford comes in, the hard-throwing right-hander who we saw in Game 1.
He's already set a Milwaukee franchise record for most saves by a rookie, 18. Remember, he missed the first 6 weeks. He was in the minor leagues. So he's making his 37th appearance. He has 18 saves. He's got 7 wins and 8 decisions. We'll see how he holds up. And he's only blown 2 save opportunities.
Tampa Bay holds on against Texas, so they lead New York by a half game in the American League East.
Wow, isn't that surprising? Runners in scoring position, 7th inning or later, 172 average.
Holiday, chance to do some damage. Texas with a loss. There's 67 and 52 and 7.5 in front of the Angels. Big gap in the left center.
Throws so hard, and then he does have a pretty effective breaking ball. I mentioned Canadian born. Boy, they're starting to really develop some
Really
players
are,
now, and a lot of pitchers.
Check swing and a foul ball.
Still have to say our buddy Larry Walker, the best Canadian-born player.
You know, we were talking about Derek Lee before. He has cleared waivers. He can be traded, but he retains that right to veto potential deals. His son Dave McKay, Canadian-born.
He's a member of their Hall of Fame, but nowhere near the career that Mr. Walker had.
1-2 pitch. Holiday rips it out to left. Overdrawn. Pujols will score. Holiday trotting into second base. And the tying run comes to the plate.
And you make a real strong case. Another misplayed ball by Braun. Holiday needed that clutch hit there. Drives in the first Cardinal run. And now Schumacher will represent the tying run. But here's the line drive out there. And he was allowed it to get over his head. Really kind of that line drive right at you. Hard to judge whether it's the height of it. And he kind of stayed stationary a little bit. And the ball rifled over his head.
Cardinals get on the board 3-1. Here's Schumacher. Looks at a breaking ball and a strike coming off the bench today. Lefty Wolf on the mound. Skip gave way to Aaron Miles. Good numbers for Skip in this spot.
Axford last night's game, Wild pitched in a run.
And Skip is hit by the pitch.
He's had that bad wrist.
That's the second Cardinal that's been hit.
He's seen another one of his troops get hit. Guy got him on the hand, the right hand. He asked Tony La Russa, there's nobody he would want up in this spot more than Molina. And once again, watch the right hand, or the elbow. Well, he got a pad on there. That was a hand, but it looked like it caught more of the elbow. Crowd into this now for the first time.
Isn't that the truth?
At the very least, get Wainwright off the hook, but more importantly, is the potential winning run.
Foul back. Molina reached on an error. Popped out to third and flied out to left.
Axford has been very good this year for Ken Maka, but the way Randy Wolf had everyone off balance, you might see the Cardinals prefer to face their closer rather than Randy Wolf the way he was dealing.
Love to see Wainwright get off the hook. 7 hits, 3 runs, and 7 innings of work for the Cardinals starter.
Give Franklin. Give Franklin a win. Play more baseball.
Oh, 1-2, Yadier Molina.
Trevor Hoffman is starting to throw in their bullpen.
Chance of Yachty here at the ballpark. Good rip.
Hit .330 since in the second half.
2 for 4 against his right-hander.
Got 45 RBIs, Dan, and 41 of them have come with runners in scoring position. Albert studying his best buddy.
Fans on their feet. 1-2 pitch to Molina. Right now, you got to feel that Brian Braun feels the weight of the world on his shoulders out and left. 2 balls that very well could have been caught. Two. Got him. No argument from Molina. 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside portion of the plate. Tough pitch here. And it's up 2 miles.
Perfect pitch, but we're just so used to seeing Yachty just flick that bat a little bit to get a little piece of it. Seeing Aaron Miles, it's tough to get a ball by him, as he just.
He's told me these are the kind of guys he favors.
Right. Well, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't try and do too much. All he tries to do is choke up on that bat, just punch the ball, put the ball in play.
The way they're positioned, it fits in perfectly.
You got Escobar, and the more he shadows Holiday out at second, leaves that big hole. You know, playing deep there, you won't want a ball over your head. That would tie the scores. You would give up a hit in front of you. Nothing over your head.
Oh, 1 pitch. Two and 1.
No battle, you want him.
He's always been a tough out here.
And many times, you know, as a pitcher, you would prefer a big time home run slugger rather than the little punch and Judy guy that'll just kind of flare the ball, quail the ball, but put it in play.
And it's pulled to fielder, and he misplayed it. How about this? Holiday scores. The Cardinals have a life. It's 3-2.
Backed up on that ball and let it play him. So first and second, little bouncer right here. He backs up on it. When you do that, you're at the mercy of the hop. It gets by him. He has to knock it down. Cardinals come up with their second run and runners at the corners, but there are 2 outs. And Colby Rasmus is going to pinch hit here.
Tying run over at third. Winning run at first base.
Colby pinch hitting for Franklin.
Colby.
Now the trainer coming out to check on someone. Look like Escobar.
Lemon. And this was off of, what we see right now, Axford. That walk-off single for Colby Rasmus. And that was off Axford, who we see right now. And I was watching Escobar. He was trying to stretch after that play, and it was odd. It was almost like he was taking a seat between pitches.
They're helping him off the field. So hopefully, from a Milwaukee standpoint, it's just a cramp and nothing serious. But right now, even if it's a cramp, it's painful. Counsell will go in.
And you have a right-hander getting loose in the pen for St. Louis. As this is Franklin's spot. Pinch hitting this year, a home run, 4 RBIs, 5 for 10. He did it last night.
Flew out last night in the pinch hitting role. At the very least, the Cardinals at least shown some life and fought back like they did Sunday. They just want a better return. And now Rick Peterson, the pitching coach, will confer with the young battery.
Rasmus has just been standing there, and so has Axford. The injury to Escobar. 2 outs, 2 on.
Axford warmed up in the 8th and the 9th. You know, he won plenty of pitches, and he's now facing his 5th batter here in the 9th inning. A double and RBI to Holiday. Hit batter is to Schumacher. Struck out Molina, and Miles reaches on an error.
Schumacher, the runner at third. Miles at first. With 16 pitches for the closer, Axford.
Last night, run was scored on a wild pitch. This hurdler on the mound.
On 2-0. Rasmus takes a pitch up high. 3 balls, no strikes. On deck, Brendan Ryan. Bases loaded. Brendan Ryan has had a very good series, albeit brief.
He's running for Kobe with his bad calf. And Maka is coming out. He's making a pitching change. Bringing in the all-time saves leader, Trevor Hoffman. Ashworth has to be screaming in his glove.
And he is. Bases loaded. Hoffman coming in. And Brendan Ryan could be a hero today. This matchup, Brendan Ryan and Trevor Hoffman, as the Cardinals will see the all-time saves leader as we flash back. Week 1, April 11th of 2010. And Albert with homer. And Holiday. We showed you earlier Nick Stavanoa, dramatic home run.
Yeah, Stavanoa was 2 days earlier. That was early in the season, and Trevor Hoffman, the all-time saves leader. He is 6 for 11 in save opportunities. He got the loss on Sunday. He is the all-time Major League save leader at 597, 3 away from the first to 600.
Well, how do you like this matchup? A guy like Ryan, as you've talked about, can be a little jumpy against a great changeup.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup favoring the Cardinals. And, you know, because if he's changeup off a changeup off a changeup, tough pitch for Brendan Ryan.
Ryan down the left field line. It's hooking foul.
Relax, Dad. Relax. You almost lost your Ted Cruz on that, but I know there's more important things. But look at the bench. For a minute, they were all excited. They were ready to pounce out there and do the hop. But good rip right there. It's out in front a little bit. Trevor at one time, 4 pitches, actually started his professional career as a shortstop.
0-2.
He's got pretty good control, so another pretty good swing right there by Brendan. 0-2.
Blown 3 of the last 4 against St. Louis.
And such a class act. What a wonderful gentleman, Trevor Hoffman. And you really want to see him get to 600, and then he can retire or do whatever he wants. But right now, the Cardinals want to win this game.
And a strikeout, Hoffman against Brendan Ryan. The game comes to a close, 3-2 the final. And the Brewers have a sweep. Hoffman gets the final out. And it's an off day tomorrow for the Redbirds, and then we'll welcome San Francisco to town on Friday night. 3-2 our final today.